5-division world champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, Claressa Shields is back in the headlines. But this time it's not about her fighting prowess. She has definitively stepped up and spoken in a manner of which is to be respected and to show solidarity towards fair play in the professional world of boxing. A recent Fight Hub TV interview gave her the opportunity to express herself and speak where many have chosen to be quiet. But someone like the GOAT can't be silenced by the consensus of being PC, politically correct. And I have to respect that in her as well. Let's talk about Miss Shields and the wonderful stance and position that she has taken as of late regarding her profession. Boxing, the theater of the unexpected, and can also be attributed the theater of the unfiltered. And such is the case when we speak of Claressa T-Rex Shields, the GOAT, an amazing athlete, phenomenal fighter, and history will be in a great place when she puts her gloves down. But she is growing in another aspect, and that is in the department of headiness when it comes to speaking righteously about the sport of boxing. I waited for a few days to pass after this news had come down the pipeline because I wanted to attack it in my own way. And though I support a great deal of what she had to say in this Fight Hub interview, I feel that she spoke volumes in areas where others have been silent and have shunned away from showing real character. And so Claressa is to be commended for this interview that was conducted with Fight Hub TV. I will allow moments of the interview where she expressed her sentiments, and I will comment on them appropriately, because this is something that not only have I felt, but I was questioning about her contemporaries, both on the man or male side of the sport as well as the female side of the sport. And for her to be nicknamed the GOAT, you know, Ali was named the GOAT, the greatest of all time. You see, in order to adapt that mantra, you have to be able to stand, sometimes alone, because the consensus, the ways of the world may be against you. Ali was subjected to that throughout his career, but at no point more than when he had to take a stand against the U.S. government. Ms. Shields, also an Olympic representative and gold medalist as Ali was, has taken a position where she stands almost alone on an island. But again, when you stand in righteousness, it means far more. Take a listen.
I want to get a few of your insights on some fights coming up. There's Ryan versus Rolly Romero. How do you see that?
Oh man, I think it's gonna be just a very unorthodox, crazy ass fight. But I'm hoping that, so my heart is with Rolly. I'm hoping that Rolly catch Ryan and put his damn lights out. But then also too, I'm going with my being strategic. I think that Ryan will try to use his jab and use that strong hook and maybe knock out Rolly. But I think it's gonna be a very, very good fight.
Why do you want Rolly to win?
Because Ryan's a drug cheat, and he know he cheated. And the world keeps saying, oh, Devin didn't get out of the way of a hook. He got hit with a steroid hook. I don't know why you guys keep putting that word off. It's like, it wasn't just a hook. It's a steroid hook.
You see, Claressa is standing on business. And just as she was being led into a conversation that has been spoken quite numerously in circles, people have found ways to answer those questions in a manner of which they didn't want to rock the boat. But when you ask a person who stands in truth about what's really at hand, you have no recourse but to pay attention to what they have to say. And I guarantee you the interviewer didn't expect Ms. Shields to come back so strongly with her thoughts on this situation regarding Devin and Ryan's fight from April of 2024.
And it hurt him since he got hit with it the first round. So it's like, yeah, you should have got out the way of the hook. You should have got out the way of every punch. But the hook and the right hands and stuff had a little bit more stuff on him because he was positive for, was it Austrian or something like that? So yeah, I just don't like that concept. And I feel like too, I want Rolly to win because Ryan disrespectful, man. He's a disrespectful kid, you know. And I think everybody giving him a pass on, he's doing better and he went to rehab or whatever the case may be. That stuff is in him, man. That's his character.
He doesn't get passes from.
You see, when she said it's his character, again, on my channel, when I go about speaking on boxing, it is one of the mainstays that I build and construct my points of view on character. Character means a great deal. The lack of character leaves one in a place of not only misery, but in a place of non-consideration of ethic. You see, and this is something that you can't get around. It is evident. And as I speak about boxing and life and boxing, you have to have a marriage of consistency on both ends. Ms. Shields is speaking on that in this very moment.
You for the things that he said.
No, he doesn't get a pass. Like, that stuff's in him. He was saying the N-word. He said things to me about my family, you know, said that my dad raped me and you know, all type of stuff. So I don't respect that, and it still hasn't been a apology from him yet. You know, he tries to laugh. Oh, Claressa, I was playing. I was like, it was like, look, I don't care how drunk or how you was. That's not acceptable, because if I get drunk and high, and I go live and I go on spaces and I talk about Mexicans, blacks, whites, people are going to hold me accountable for that. So he doesn't get a pass because he was high and drunk. Right?
Absolutely. And see, that's the part where many in these circles have gone on and had silence, where they didn't want to acknowledge what was happening. And Ryan made certain to be disrespectful toward Miss Shields as he amped up and ramped up his behavior during this time, being very disrespectful to her with those words that you just heard her say, that what he accused of her dad of. How do you come back from that? How do you apologize for something like that? And you're speaking in social media circles. This is denigrating, but not to Miss Shields. It's to Ryan. And see, we're living in a society where things are being juxtaposed and being turned around, where wrong is now made to be right and received, and incorrect is being made to be correct. You see, and if you don't stand on business, this type of thing is dangerous, because it allows the wolves into the hen house. Yeah. But again, Ms. Shields is speaking on the principles that are factors that mean something and should not easily be wiped away or dismissed. Because as she said, as a woman of color, had she been out here behaving in the same manner, or if it were a man, a black man of color, behaving in the same manner, they would be held ultra accountable to the circumstances at hand. And it just shows the establishment and where their considerations toward respect truly lie. And so what we see in these words being spoken by Ms. Shields are no lie. She's speaking absolute righteous truth and fact.
Devin's returning against Jose Ramirez,
which I think is a very good fight.
You know, some people have questions because of the Ryan fight, but how do you see that? How do you like Devin or Jose in this fight?
I think Devin is the better fighter, but he would have to overcome some things mentally in a fight, because Jose is very, very strong. And Devin has been inactive for a while. He hasn't been in the ring, so it's going to be different being under those lights with all those fans. He's getting booed every chance he gets. He's going to get booed walking out to the fight with Jose Ramirez. So I think you got to get mentally prepared for that. And Jose isn't a slouch. You know, I went to him 2012, and he's a really good fighter too. So I think that Devin got the better skills, and he may be a bit faster, but Jose has been in the ring with some very good people. He got good experience, and he's a strong guy. So I look forward to seeing that fight. And I think that Devin wins it, but he has to overcome a lot mentally.
You see, even in being able to discuss boxing and matchups, she can be very earnest and sincere regarding what's on the table. The Haney fight that's coming up, where he has to face an opponent that is really a straight up fighter in Jose Carlos Ramirez, is about, that could be a pick'em if you know your boxing. But I'll tell you something. Haney fighting the likes of Ramirez shows the quality of fighter that he is, taking on an opponent such as Ramirez, when a fighter like Garcia wouldn't fight Ramirez. And win, lose, or draw, it will have nothing to do with the Garcia fight or residual effect from it with Devin's performance against Jose Carlos Ramirez. You see, Ramirez is the best opponent on that card that'll be coming up. And Shields is acknowledging that by saying, hey, he was in the Olympics with her, Ramirez. He's to be respected. He's an accomplished former unified champion at lightweight. Just like Devin ended up becoming a undisputed champion at lightweight. So as Miss Shields represents, she's telling you the facts here.
Yeah, they're already, I guess, have the rematch set. They both have to win, but do you see the rematch being different against Ryan and Devin, in your opinion?
Devin's so much better than me, man. As far as in his character,
Yeah.
I feel like. Because every time I see Ryan, I would have fought him. I would have street fought him. You used drugs to cheat against me. It happened on national TV. You mocked me. You laughed about it. You didn't take any accountability. You keep telling everybody, oh, it's the hook, it's the hook. And you still not taking accountability. I don't know. I just feel like if that was to happen to me, I would fight that person every chance I get. Like,
you see, again, being so upfront and sincere. There was a mockery here, and I blame the Ryan camp along with Ryan the fighter, because they never intended to face Devin under the legalities of contracts that they signed. And that's where, again, the disrespect is so overwhelming, because Devin was the WBC champion at junior welterweight when he faced Ryan. And they had a contractual obligation to face for Devin's title 140 pounds. You have to cut weight to make 140 pounds for that title. Ryan didn't do that. He was not professional. He had no intention of making the weight. And by not doing so, he didn't make the sacrifices that Haney made to defend and fight for his title, and therefore he came in with an advantage of not doing his due diligence regarding what was contractual. And then when you factor in the fact that he also tested positive for banned substances. Let me repeat that, banned substances, meaning that under the rules, under the obligations of the contractual agreement, those substances in this region where the fight is taking place are illegal. And he purposely didn't adhere to his obligation. He was even found to be drinking and smoking. His behavior was belligerent, and he was not well representing the sport of boxing, the integrity of the sport. And people took it as entertainment, which it was not. And Shields is pointing this out, that people just allowed this. Remember me speaking about what's incorrect being made correct, and wrongfulness being made into rightfulness. Topsy-turvy. But alas, it takes a woman, a nurturing spirit, to come back and acknowledge what's important here and speak it as only a woman can do. Because growing in this life existence, hasn't your mom set you on the right path? You see? Oh, dad does his job as well. But here we have someone who's speaking succinctly and sincerely about these circumstances. And it's to be applauded.
It was hard for them to want that person to ask. So I give them a lot of props for that. And yeah, still in the rematch, I hope that Ryan goes through vital testing, just like Devin, and they can have a clean fight, and we can see who's the better fighter. But like, I feel like the damage is already done, man. Like, it was 12 hard rounds. He got knocked down a lot. He took a very bad beating, and he had to deal with the aftermath of it, you know. So it's a lot. Like, when I think about it, I don't look at it as just the fight. I look at what fighters go through after the fight, you know, what they go through on social media, you know, what they go through just from dealing with this person. You know, I think it's way deeper than what people, you know, think. But I have to give a lot of respect to Devin, because he still walks around like he's that guy, which he should, but it's just, I don't know, I would still have the same confidence if something like that happened to me.
You have a lot of empathy for Devin. Like, with you just saying that, like, it kind of connected as to like why you were, like, I can tell in your eyes you're getting a little like emotional, like, about Devin. So is that like why, like, you kind of like see like how he's been treated after all this?
Yeah, it's not right. It's not right, but I feel like that's why I see somebody better than me, because I would have handled things way, way differently. You know, but he stayed classy, he stayed professional. And I'm older now, and I'm 30, but the anger in me would not have let me do that. You know, and I just give him a lot of respect for that. But before Devin and Ryan fought, Devin was considered one of the 4 kings, right? Him, Shakur, Tank, and Teofimo. Yeah. Right, so he's considered one of the 4 kings. He's undefeated. He's had tough fights. He's won. You know, he's the American dream. And then all of a sudden, you have a hard camp, you do everything right, and then you lose what he lost. And then you have to deal with somebody who tested positive, has no empathy. You're getting dragged by all the Mexican fans that are all Team Ryan, and they don't stop. They just continue attacking him. It's like, no, to me, nobody really like showed concern for Devin. I inboxed him a little bit, and I was checking on him to make sure he was okay. He wrote back like, hey, I'm good, blah, blah, blah. You know, but I just felt like, dang, this is just so bad, because I'm considered one of the queens of boxing. So I look at me having a hard training camp, me working out, me training, and I get in there with a girl, and she just beats the brakes off me, and then come back, she tested positive, so I fought against a drug cheat. Now I'm being ridiculed by everybody. Now people say that I'm not the GOAT, I'm not the greatest, that I'm a hype job. I don't know how I'll be able to do that. I really don't.
You see, everything she's saying is wonderfully articulated. She's making certain to not just stress that Devin was up against a situation that he didn't sign up for. You see, because all things being equal and on a level playing field, to be defeated under those auspices, that is to be commended and respected. But when you have someone who went totally outside the boundaries of respectability and then have public sentiment support that, our society is duped. When you can have people that show their bias, their prejudice, and bigotry, all for the sake of nationality, where your man wins because the black man loses, something is terribly wrong. You see, you can go into the ER tomorrow, non-black persons, and your life could be on the line. But there are physicians and nurses and staff who may be not like you, and you rely upon they to save your life. You don't have time in an emergency situation, heart attack, stroke, gunshot, stabbing, car crash, motorcycle accident, terrible fall, assault, to pick and choose who's on staff at that hour to take care of your health and well-being. You didn't sign up for that. You only signed up that a hospital, a place where they can assist in you being mended, that they take care of the responsibility of that. And what if they go into it with the bias, prejudice, and bigotry against you? Do you know how easy life could be lost under that? You see, many people don't like to look at the true essence of who they are when you talk about character, because many don't have what it takes for that to stand proud and just. And we're hearing this woman articulate it from the most sincere manner that you can receive.
No, that's why I took my butt off and take the body test and have everybody else take it, but I don't know, like I said, like Devin is a very, very strong dude. I just know me personally, listen, little girls that see me, every time I see her and her team will be getting their ass kicked. Like, I'll be running up on her every time I see her. They be like, Claressa, just don't come, because we know what you're going to do when you see so-and-so. So I give Devin so much praise for that. I'm hoping that I can go to that place mentally one day. I'm not there.
So Michigan in you, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It's something.
But no, honestly, 9 out of 10 people in that situation would do something like that. Like, yeah, Devin. I like Devin. Devin's a good kid.
He's a good kid.
He's a good kid, man. When you talk to him outside of this, just as a normal person, you're like, he's a sweet kid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's a very good guy. He is. I think his dad gives him a bad rep because he's so confident in his son, and he does the trash talk for Devin. But what are dads for?
True. Yeah. No, like with the booze and all that, I know some of it is because of the fallout, because of the whole suing thing, but
before I let him finish to speak on the suing thing, trying to express that people don't like Devin because of his dad. Aren't dads heavily involved in a number of fighters professionally these days and times? But not just that. we've had terrible dads be a part of fighters and be bigoted and racially biased and disrespectful in a manner of which Bill Haney has never been, and it's been overlooked. And all Bill has done is become a spokesman for his son, because he's the promoter and the purveyor of Devin as he speaks about his son and what they're trying to accomplish. It's like he's his PR man, which it truly is, but he also happens to be his dad in life. So, with a sentiment going against it, because understand, this society likes to portray that the black fighter coming from dire straits and meager beginnings and broken homes, they want to sell that. They want to put that on the air. They want that to show nationally televised, like Claressa said earlier. Disrespectful. However, being that way also shows you what our society is doing. And everyone hasn't come from those circumstances. But why does the establishment want to portray that of a people? Because of the bullcrap that they initially tell everyone that comes into these United States. And it's the image that they want to set because they want to have their feet on someone else's neck. Yeah.
It's like when you take that.
I would have sold it too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like what? I don't know. Maybe I'm team dead. I don't know, but I would say before the fight, I was just team neutral. You know, and I thought Devin was a better fighter, and I was a fan of Ryan too. And I thought Devin was going to smash Ryan. It was the total opposite. And after the fight, to learn everything after, it was like, oh my God, this is terrible. But what am I gonna say? What was the last thing you said?
I said the part of the movie is because of the suing. You said, oh,
Yeah. I want to sue him too, man. You got the whole world looking at me like I'm a defeated fighter. You're not taking accountability for using the ostrin. You could have killed me. Right now we got 13 boxers dying a year in boxing. No other sport is this happening. Not MMA. 13 people in boxing are dying a year. On average, are dying a year. Like, you can't put my life like that and then think about the other time. Like, okay, so somebody uses PEDs against you and they just get us. Like what happened? Like, what makes the next athlete be like, okay, I'm not gonna use drugs? Like, what is the repercussions?
You see, she is putting it out there in a way that many people just don't want to acknowledge. She's telling you the truth. 13 people on average dying a year in the sport of boxing, whether you know their names or their relative obscurity. You have to acknowledge that there's a problem. And out of that 13 average, how many are dying under being victimized by someone who's cheating in the sport? You see, that's not being spoken about, but Claressa's letting you know. She's aware. Accountability is everything. And for as long as people like this interviewer, who's basically trying to not embrace what she's saying, but kind of circle around it, because he's a part of that. He's been a part of it. He's been very critical of the Haney machine. He's been very much in lieu and support of Ryan Garcia, and never really acknowledging wrongdoing. Where's the moral compass? You see, we got to get better, man. We got to do something. And to have a spokesperson and representative in the sport like Claressa, where are the others to step forward and do what's necessary? You see, she's on the move. She's the one doing exactly what should be done and said. And I commend her for it tremendously. The link for that interview will be in the description box. Many of you may have seen it already, but I will provide it. This is something to build on. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. You heard the GOAT say that she would sue too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Leave comments and let's discuss further. Peace to everyone out there. And everyone, please remain safe.